The Nintendo room sure is a complete disaster right now in terms of organization, but it has to be because I'm expanding into the room right over there. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. I haven't been making videos very often in the last few months, and the reason is definitely twofold. One, I was definitely overwhelmed with work, I was doing way too much, and posting twice a week was a lot. However, number two, look at how much of a disaster the room is right now. I have things kind of all over the place. I had to move out of the room kind of to the side, get everything over here so that I can properly finish off that space over there. So while the room is a complete disaster over here on this end, I still filmed a few videos on this setup in this corner that looks like it's still reasonably well, I guess, designed right now, at least for videos. You can't even notice it because the rest of the Nintendo space just is a complete disaster. So it's really hard for my brain to focus on making videos when it's just such a nightmare over here. I just feel like it's clustered, and there's also obviously dust because we're going through construction. You might notice that right here, this is the flooring that was at the bottom of the stairs. This flooring is from Super Mario Bros. 3. It matches the beam on the ceiling that I put in this Nintendo space. The beam's pretty cool, by the way. I do have a video about how I made this entire beam, and some of the blocks actually look 3D, which is pretty awesome. So the flooring that I had to match that, I think I have to get rid of this, or at least use it in a different space, because let me take you over here. This is right down the stairs behind the Pokewall. We used to have a secret door right here behind this plastic sheet. Of course, there's plastic just to kind of prevent all the dust from coming this way. So this is where I had my NES and then my Super Nintendo shelves and the secret doors. What I decided to do is to blast away that space. So let me just take you over to the space that we're finishing right now. So like I said, this is down the stairs. I had posters lining this wall, but I'll explain why they're off and everything that's going on. Right down the staircase into the Nintendo room. And here's the new room that we are finishing off. This room was outlined in my last room tour. I had shelving all over the place, but the space was not finished. The electrical unit was still exposed. The ceiling obviously didn't have any drywall on it, and it wasn't quite the right dimension and size for everything that I wanted. So let's just go through this space for a moment and I'll walk you through the ideas here. So this is on the other side of where the secret walls were, the secret doors were. On this side, there was a bump out wall because it was a doorway. On both sides, it was roughly a 16-inch bump out. You can look at the floor right here. You can see that it used to bump out to about right there. And if you look at the color of the floor, the wall was in line with that yellow paint. So I decided, let's just make it one big open space. We could have put walls on this and actually had, you know, doors on this side like they used to be, so that this is a completely separate space. But I thought I really wanted it to be more open, especially if it's all going to be one Nintendo room. So now hopefully when you come down the stairs, you will see a wall of consoles and everything like that. So that's one of the major changes, first of all. This is definitely a more open space. It's just over 8 feet. It's like 8 feet 3 inches for this gigantic opening here. We're not going to put doors on it, so no more secret doors here. I will, however, hopefully, maybe put a secret door over here. So this is now into the furnace room, and because it's going to be into the furnace room, I might take one of those Billy bookcases, the same ones that I had as part of my secret door, just one of them though, and put it right there as a pivoting, swiveling doorway into the furnace room. So I think that's my idea, to still have a secret door with the Zelda sound effect, but it will go into the furnace room anyways. And that way I don't have a door here as wasted space for display. I have a shelf here that I can still use to display items on. We don't go back in the furnace room all that often. So that's the big change. The secret door is going to be moved. Another big change I asked them to do is the wall used to be, it's kind of hard to see, but if you look at the ceiling, there's like a line here that you can kind of see with a stain on the ground, I guess. But that's where the wall used to be. I had them move it back 16 inches so it's in line with the closet. So now both sides of the closet are kind of mirror images of one another with the doorway. So this wall right here, it basically moved back into the furnace room 16 inches. So to give you a better visual, it's right there. That's how much I asked them to move it back. It used to be in line with this stud, but now it's in line with that one over there. So we do have to finish this off a little bit more properly. Now I keep saying they because I am not doing the rest of this job myself. We are paying people to finish this professionally, so it'll look a lot better. They're going to do everything all the way up to the drywall. They're going to mud and tape, but my wife and I are going to do the trim and we're going to paint, but they're doing everything else, including all of the structural work. Framing, drywall, mud and tape, all that good stuff. So our furnace room's a little bit smaller. Now if you take a look in our furnace room back here, these are all the Billy bookcases that used to be in the room that I'm standing in right now. They are stacked, they're at least 2 deep, and they're all over the place. You can see a lot of my doubles and 64 games and whatnot and GameCube games are way back there, kind of just lining this space. So it's ridiculous. Everything had to come out. At least this space is nice and clean. Makes a lot of sense. The lighting in this room, you might notice that they have hung their own electrical lighting just for now because the 3 lights that are in this space are nowhere near bright enough for what I need in here. So they are going to be replacing those lights so it's a little bit brighter so that you can see everything in the Nintendo room a little bit better. There was a post down here because my room is on like 30-foot beams right here. So it's holding up that, obviously. You can see that. So they had to deal with this. So that's what they did, which makes a lot of sense. And then this will be a doorway. I've asked them to not mount the door to this so that maybe the fridge comes over to this side and then the other side will be like an arcade cabinet or something like that. I'm not sure if I'll keep the fridge facing that way or if I'll turn the fridge around and have it facing out this way and maybe do something in this space a little bit different. It's kind of handy having the fridge really close to the couches, by the way, but let me know what you would do. Would you put the fridge facing out that way or would you have it facing this way? One will be an arcade, one will be a fridge. That's probably my idea. Maybe I'll have it a little bit different, I'm not sure. Maybe the arcade will go in a closet that's all the way at the end of the Nintendo room that I have the extra space for too. The lighting in here was a mess, so they gotta install like, you know, a shatterproof bulb and change this up a little bit as well. I really like how we framed this wall because we did push it back, as I mentioned, even in this space. So they pushed it all the way against the staircase, which makes a lot of sense. And now, what they did wonderfully for me is right here is the exact width of a Billy bookcase. After we put drywall on, a Billy bookcase will be perfectly flush with the wall right here against the wall, which would be really nice in case I want to use that. I'll probably mount a TV actually on this side of the wall. We do have a utility. Right there we have a power, so we can plug in the TV and maybe mount a TV right there, and maybe I'll run an HDMI cord all the way over to where the other one is on a splitter so that we can watch TV and movies. Maybe put the TV on a swivel so that if I have a poker table over here, the Zelda poker table, then people will be able to see the TV from everything. I've also been considering maybe putting a bar right here with some stools. I'm not really sure if the red chairs will go in this space or what, but I certainly have lots of ideas. I think once the space is finished, we'll have a much better idea about what this is all about. Quick tip, a lot of the Nintendo room is trimmed in gold. So what I asked for them to do is to keep any of the trim over here that they used around the doorways previously and everything like that. So it is here. You can see it. I might reuse that at least for the closet on this side so that it's consistent. Or we might just redo the trim and make it white entirely. But I certainly don't want to retrim the entire Nintendo room on that side. So that's a lot of the ideas that I've been going around and why I haven't really been making videos very often. It's really hard for me to focus when it's such a disaster in the Nintendo room itself. I'm really excited for them to finish off the space properly, box out the utility unit here, you know, re-put shelving everywhere, and the flooring I decided to go with, I might as well show you. It's right here. It's high quality vinyl, waterproof and all that good stuff. So I'm really excited to have that. We bought enough of it already and it's here ready for them to use and ready for them to install. So that's why the Nintendo room floor probably won't be here anymore. This used to be tile. So they'll have to scrape all of this up and try and get rid of all of this because it should be flush. It should be flat with the ground. Otherwise it might snap. The vinyl might not work properly. So hopefully that's some insight into what's going on in my life and why I haven't really been posting videos that often. I'm kind of overwhelmed with everything that's been going on. Sure, with what's been going on in the world, finally we're going back to normal a little bit more and a little bit more every day. And I just couldn't really focus with how busy work was for the past few months. I was in a rough spot mentally for a little while too, and I certainly feel kind of all over the place when my Nintendo room looks like this. I did get 2 new couches, but I want to discuss those and why the other couch is gone, maybe in an upcoming video, once this all goes back to normal. We're really hoping this renovation is done in the next few weeks, so maybe 2 to 3 more weeks, and we'll be completely done this, and I'll be able to reorganize the Nintendo room, which I really enjoy doing. Finding good displays for everything really makes me enjoy the hobby a lot more as well and everything like that. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to ask any questions if you have any. The Nintendo room is still here. It's just in shambles. It's a bit of a mess, and I hope to be back to normal really soon. But I'm still going to be posting videos twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, especially from here on out. I'm going to try and stick to that schedule. You guys are awesome. Again, thanks for watching. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming.